of the 187th, the director of the 187 National. Was an 8 company, 187, and we made the jump at Munsanee, the second combat jump, 42 miles behind enemy lines, and we had to fight our way out. The catch was we had Kims. Everybody in Korea is named Kim. Kim this, Kim that, or whatever. And this Kim was our interpreter. We had him with us for all the full time. He wore uniforms, ate with us, slept with us, went wherever we went. So me and Kirkendall went in to see the company commander, which is Captain McDonald. He died and Kirkendall's dead. And I asked him if we could take Kim with us up behind enemy lines. We ain't gonna have nobody up there to sort out who's enemy and who ain't. Yeah. You know, you don't know one from the other. You turn them loose to be back tomorrow shooting at you again. So when you jump in like this, you have a whole bunch of prisoners. Anyway, we get up there, and he says, "You get the hell out of here. You guys ain't taking no Kim with you. That's against Army regulations, Air Force regulations. You can't have a civilian on a military aircraft." And I said, "Well, sir, I think we better take him." He says, "Get out of here, you two guys. If you pull any of this kind of stunt, when we get back, I'll have you court-martialed and disrespect to an officer and disobeying a direct order of an officer. We'll carry the court-martial order records right up to regiment. Make sure you get what's coming to you." So we go outside and I tell Kim, I said, "What the hell?" Or not Kim, I tell Kirkendall, I said, "Leroy, I think we got to do this. If I'm going to go up there and we're going to be right amongst enemy, I need to know who the hell my enemy is. I need to know this." And he said, "I think we should take Kim with us." He says, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, we'll get him up in the morning about 5:30, load him on the aircraft and take all our equipment with us, of course, and I'll tell him that we're going to take a flight around the area just to get him familiar with an airplane." So we was in this old rusty up 46, because we had 46s. The 1st and 2nd Battalion got the C-119s. The 46s we got, they were all rusty planes left over from World War II. They were antiques, you know. So anyway, we get old Kim in the plane, and he says, what's going on? You know, and I said, "Well, we're going to give you a familiarization flight around the area and get you familiar with the airplane." So I got him, he said, "Well, why the shoot? Why the reserve? Why the shoots and stuff?" Well, the Air Force says you got to have a chute on when you get in this plane. That's a regulation, of course. You're pulling his leg. So we put him in the stick, and Kim was in between him and I. Kirkendall was in the front, and I was in the back. We had him in the middle. So we hooked him up in the static line. We get about 2 miles out from the drop zone, which is all enemy territory. We get up, and he says, "Hey, something's wrong." His eyes got big, saucers. And he had blouse boots just like we do, you know. He had the same kind of boots. He didn't have jump boots, so he had regular issue boots. So we went on, and he got up in there in the plane. We're getting close to DZ. When that green light goes on, everything goes. The stick goes. You couldn't stop that stick if you wanted to. It's just gone. And he'd go. He's in the middle. He can't get out. He'd knock him right down and take him out the door. We had no sweat because the static line's going to open his main pack. We're jumped at 600 feet, but the hills are 205, 2010, something else. So we actually jumped at 400 feet level. We won't have much time to use reserve anyway. But to give it to you, you had it. It's a requirement by Army regulations. So, and Air Force regulations. So we jump out, and then we got on the ground, and they I never checked these boots. We didn't have time. There's too much activity going on. You know, running around capturing prisoners and all kinds of crap. We didn't check his pant leg, but I think he shit his pants. If we could check him out, we didn't have time to do that. He'd never been in an airplane in his entire life. So he
Hello, Jim.
Huh?
let alone jump out of one.
That's his only jump he ever made. So we got on top of the hill and we had 40 or 50 prisoners. I said, Kim, sort these guys out. Which ones? South Koreans, put them over here. North Koreans over here. Chinese over here. And then tell them, when he got them all sorted out, it only took him a couple of minutes to sort them out by just listening to how they talk. They had a southern accent or they had a northern accent. He could, North Korean, Chinese, this North Korean, this is South Korean. And tell these South Koreans to get the hell out of here right now. Tell them to scatter and go. It's going to be a hot spot pretty shortly. Go as quick as they can go and travel lightly because they're going to be in trouble. And I says, now, the rest of them take them over the hill. We had to limit it. It's not in the Geneva Convention. It is in the Geneva Convention. When you capture prisoners, you send them to the rear. We ain't got no rear. We're surrounded. How the hell are you going to, you turn them loose, they're back shooting at you tomorrow or the next day or the same day. Never know. So anyway, we get back. We're on top of this hill, 205 or something, and here comes Captain McDonald over here. He says, Bachman. I said, yes, sir. You got Kim with you? I said, yes, sir. I couldn't deny it. He's standing right there by me. He said, we need him over here. We got a headquarters company. He's got a whole bunch of prisoners. We don't know who the hell they are. We need to sort them out. So he took them on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2 bags full the way he went with them, So pretty soon here come old Major Holland. He's OSS from World War II. He had 3 combat jumps with him. He comes over the hill, and he says, hey, I hear you got Kim over here, Captain McDonald. He says, yes, sir. He says, we need him over here in battalion headquarters. This is the battalion commander. He's in charge of the whole battalion. We need him over here to sort out prisoners. Okay, they took him over there and they got all the prisoners sorted out and everything. And 7, 8, 9 days later, we get back to the apple orchard where we were next to the Air Force, Air Base down by Taegu. And we get called in to company commander. First sergeant wanted us to report to company commander, me and Kirkendall. We report to him. He said, you 2 guys think you're smart asses, don't you? He said, I'm gonna burn your ass. You disrespect of an officer, refused a direct order of an officer, violated every kind of rule there ever was, put a civilian civilian person on the military aircraft. I'm going to burn you a new butt. And he said, I'm going to carry them court-martial papers all the way to regiment to make sure you get it. You're going to get yours, you 2 smart asses. You think you're smart. And I said, sir, may I speak? Do I have permission to speak? He said, yes. Yeah, you can speak, but ain't going to do you no damn. He's a real rough knucklehead, Officers are all that way. It don't matter what the hell it is. So he says, he says, well, sir, first of all, did you not use Kim on Hill 205 at Munson? He says, yeah, what that got to do? What the hell's that got? I says, did not Major Holland use Kim on Hill 208 or something? He says, yeah, so what? What's that? I says, you're both career officers, sir. If we get a court-martial, we're going to have to tell the truth that you and Major Holland were both accessory after the fact, and you're as guilty as we are. Your career is shot to hell. Major and captain don't matter. He says, get the hell out of here. I will see you guys later. First sergeant will have you on detail tomorrow. And every day fair after, we dug holes. Latrine holes for the officers, latrine holes, trenches for the enlisted men, 6x6s for the mess hall dump, and everything. We were digging holes all over it. I never spent so much. I thought I was a damn gopher digging holes all the time. He came from World War II. During World War II, he was a captain in the OSS. You know what that was. He was given a job to jump in to indoor China at the time, which is now Vietnam. They got their history stuff. And they jumped in anyway. He was given by 2 colonels and a major come down and says, you'll jump in. He says, where's all my weapons? Where's my artillery? Where in the hell is my TNT and everything else? I can't go in there with nothing. This guerrilla warfare guy won't even like me. He says, you're jumping in with it. This is the true story. It was in the 68 Popular magazine, Science Popular magazine. And he's talking to these two guys in Vietnam, and they was there, and he's telling them about this story that Captain Mike Holland was going to jump in with 3 sets of butterflies in a little case.
Yeah.
He says, you guys are crazy. You ain't gonna have me jump in there with these damn butterfly collections. I'd go in there to fight and show this guerrilla warfare guy how to do it. Show him the whole works. He says, well, this guy you're going in there for, he's a guerrilla leader, and he's got to learn a lot from you, and you'll take stuff. We'll airdrop you ammos and them weapons and radios and everything else later. But these butterfly collections, he was in the United States back in the 30s. He was going to college. And he liked butterfly collection. He hasn't seen a butterfly collection in better than 40, 50 years or more. So he says, you take these butterflies in there, and this guy, he'll kiss and love you. You'll do anything you want him to do. You'll have him eaten out of your hand. And he says, well, how in the hell is this butterfly thing going to do? He says, well, that's it. He's a butterfly collector. He's never seen them. So he jumped in with the butterflies, and he linked up with the guerrilla leader, and they fought all indoor China, keeping the Japanese busy right and left. You know who this guy was? Ho Chi Minh. We taught that sucker all the guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
And here we're in Vietnam now, and we're fighting against Ho Chi Minh and his damn bunch, and our captain, which is now colonel now, taught him everything he knew. So what might be your enemy one day, next year is your friend, and the following year, hell, your enemy again. So that goes to prove it, that was a true story. And he was telling these guys in Vietnam, I said, this is where I was at. Well, at that time, he had 3 combat junks for the OSS, one of them was this one, and he had 2 combat junks with the 187. That's 5 combat junks. His wings is full of gold, bronze stars. Well, later on they made an issue that if you got more than 4 or 5 stars, then you put a silver star in, just like your gold. That covers all. That covers 5 of them. That means 5 awards. Just like oak leaf clusters. If you got a Purple Heart and 3 of them,